Greetings, God bless, and welcome back. So, I was thinking about whether folks think that it should be illegal for there to be jerks, and especially for there to be, um, I'm going to say, quote unquote, white jerks, because uh, with certain people where it's used for dividing. Like with the Trayvon Martin event situation, the guy who this kind of racial division was focused is, I mean, the guy looked Latino to me, but it was called, like, a white on black hate crime, and ignoring all the Freemasonic stuff that went on, like that his father got his 33rd degree during the, like at the same time the trial was going on. So, like, what happens is people do they do sacrifice family members, but who knows if it was an execution, because we also see actors reappearing later. For instance, the Challenger situation, where all but one are alive now, going by the same name. Um, they're alive. Like, they did not get shredded and burned up. I mean, it's like, how do they reconcile this? And nobody cares. But also Nicole Simpson. There's a newscaster who has her same exact features, and people point out that people who appear to have been executed actually just play a different role. For instance, Jimmy Carter was, and brace yourself, but folks are saying he was, JFK became Jimmy Carter. Um, Jim Morrison became Chevy Chase. Um, Jimi Hendrix became, what's that guy's name? So anyways, we didn't lose them necessarily, it seems. But anyway, back to my point though. Um, so if somebody who's black actually tries to stand up for a classical truth, like eternal truth, then they are thrown in as white. So even though a person is a person of color, if they don't fulfill the current agenda, the Marxist Bolshevik agenda, then they are demonized, and then they are white, even though they're black or Hispanic or Asian, um, or formerly gay or something like that. So, so the question is, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. These videos of people being upset. Is okay. So is so only so it's illegal to make somebody unhappy. It's it's illegal to make, like, fact checkers unhappy. It's illegal to make the Marxist Bolsheviks leftists unhappy. We have to take care of their feelings. We have to coddle them, or else it's against the law. That's because that's what's appearing. That's what they're doxing people. They're destroying people's careers, families, community connections, reputation. It's a war by this Bolshevik leftist Marxist movement against anybody who does or says anything that they don't like. So so the question is should we do we make this a thing? Because that's what they're behaving like, and unfortunately, their allies are also saying, yeah, you should think exactly how these Marxists thinks, and if you have your own independent thought, then you're a bad person and you should die. I mean, that's really what's going on, and there's like a tiny percent of people who don't agree with the left, or they're not such, or well, and you know what, and there's this other population that that are cowards. They don't agree, but they're not going to say or do anything. Like, I don't know, what are they waiting for? What are you waiting for? Uh, so, um, are you going to become a collab? Because you're a collaborator. Like when you're participating in the science, the conspiracy of silence, and it's not just that this conspiracy of silence for evil has just started. It didn't just start with the lockdowns. This has been going on since the beginning of anything. Uh, people just Good people get hired and they go along with wrongdoing because they want their job. Or a lot of good people, really good people, they quit working for these bad companies, like prestigious bad companies, and they start their own business. That's why there's so much bad behavior in big business because the really good people, capable people, inspiring, motivating people, they're like, this place is so toxic. I'm just starting my own thing. And so we've lost. We've lost the better character, the capable, emotionally intelligent people in the workforce. They've left it long ago. Like I would say, like when I entered the workforce, it was it was the late 80s, um, but more so in a big city in California. And I noticed when I first was there, there'd be one person working reception, one person doing filing, one person being a secretary, and then they like consolidated three jobs into one, or four jobs into one, or five jobs into one, and so executives are still making crazy amounts of money. Why? What are they doing? Oh, they have this lifestyle so they can golf with whatever and with whoever and yacht with whoever and make these rich connections. And maybe they're doing reports and stuff like that. But from what I observed, it was their underlings did the reports, and they just kind of showed up and were these trophies. But I don't know. Maybe they do something more. But so what's going on right now is somehow there's been a coup, and the Marxist left have infiltrated. Like they it's like a mafia, and all these big companies are held hostage, or they're willingly participating in this crazy. I have my paycheck. I gotta pay my mortgage. I gotta take care of my family. If that's really even the priority, like if the priority isn't, I need to feel, proud that I'm a successful business person. I need to look good to other people. I couldn't possibly allow myself to be a lesser person. So, yeah, so people are held hostage by this hard left Marxist Bolshevik thing. Uh, and where are the people who in the past would say, hey, mom, or hey, friend, or hey, whoever, like, you're wrong, um, you're being self centered, or whatever. Like, there's been no kind of community control. Like, there's been no, like, nobody's spoken up. Nobody has told these self centered, narcissistic people they're out of line. And it's like this madness that's taken over. And people are going along with it, and we have this division uh, between people. And I was saying in another video, I was watching a video about, or I was listening to an audiobook about the French Revolution, and I think we're in another version of it. And it's just it's mind-boggling. It's shameful to me. I cannot believe how low humans have allowed themselves to get. How low Americans. I think Americans are like, nah, this could not be happening. This cannot be happening. You know, and I'm at the point. I'm like, how did this happen? Because it's happening. I mean, this gay story time, drag queen story time for kindergartners, and how these teachers, like, how is it that so many teachers are trying to alter children's gender or sexuality? Like, since when did that become such a thing for an adult and for a teacher? Like, what does that have to do with math or reading or social skills? It's like gay people have been um, like decided to infiltrate schools or whatever to make it like a gay utopia, an LGBTQ pedo trans utopia. Like why? Like like if somebody is a vegan, like vegans have not said, well, actually they have, right? Because they want us to eat bugs. The globalists want us to eat bugs or fake meat. But 30 years ago, when there were vegans or when there were transvestites or transsexuals or whatever, they weren't like everybody has to be trans. They weren't like everybody has to be vegan. I mean, especially like the gay trans community, was not thinking everybody had to be identified one way or the other. Like, uh, I mean, there was a push, there was a hope. Everybody hoped somebody was, gay or trans or whatever. Um, yeah, but now it's like this is like a child. It's so childish. Uh, it's like if you thought the color blue was the best color in the world, and you think everybody should wear the color blue. I mean, it's very. I guess, is that like a dictatorship? Is that like a totalitarian thing? That's where we're finding ourselves in. So, and the crazy people who think that everybody should wear the color fuchsia, whatever, and eat bugs and change their gender, like they don't care. Like, and that's what I'm noticing when I've watched like land back activists. And it's weird because it's like there was this lady. She was white. She was an older white lady with dyed black hair, but she had more white Anglo features than I do, and yet she was representing Native people. I mean, they have whenever they're having a Native American talk, it's like under a tree on the grass. It's like this weird. It's this narrative. It's you know, and she was saying, all the white people should go away. All the Europeans should go away. All the people that are not from here should leave the United States. Should leave North America. And for her children, her white children that she's calling native, but and she was claiming it was for the native children, you know, own the North America, and so the reporter was like, well, what happens to the children of the people who are here that are from another country? I mean, like, we are from here. I mean, that's the thing. We're 4 or 5 generations of Americans, but this native Marxist movement is trying to make it seem like we're from somewhere else. The irony is those native people did not originate from North America. They came over the Bering Strait through like Siberia and whatever. So they're not from here either. Like, but they want this what's that double standard. So they're like, well, reality doesn't apply to me. And it's not native people. It's like this Marxist land back movement that I'm talking about. It's just the Marxist left that I'm talking about that has this double standard. Like, I get to call you names, but you can't call me names. I get to shout and scream in your face and attack you, but you can't defend yourself because then I'm going to regard that as assault. It's like this insane double standard, and the smart people that I know somehow are thinking this kind of psychotic, immature, horrendous, uncivilized behavior. They think it's acceptable. They think it's okay. They don't see a problem with it, or they're trying to rationalize it. And the thing is, if it was just a onesie twosie thing, I'd be like, oh, okay, rationalize it or whatever. But this is a systemic, organized destruction of civilization as we know it. like like your classic liberal mentality for tolerance and relativism or whatever is the word. I don't know, but like like this it's messing things up. Like, if you are an intelligent, well educated, classical liberal, like, you need to start stepping up. Like, you're way late to the um, contribution that you need to do to protect civilization. Now, I do think we are at the end of civilization, the end of times, but we don't have to just surrender to the globalists and the Satanists. Like, if we're going to go down, because we're going to go down, let's go down well. Like, go down standing on your feet rather than on your knees. Like, how did this happen? Why am I being, do I have a gun to my head and my child's being raped? Like, because that's going to happen, folks. Like, so I think it's better to make a stand now. Make a stand now, folks. Make your stand now. And I think, like, just when what I mean by making a stand is speak just quietly, like I'm speaking. Just quietly say, whatever is your belief system. Like, Joe's a jerk, Fred's a jerk, Jane's a jerk. They're jerky people, but you know what? They can be a jerky person. Have they run over your garden bed? Have they crashed into your car? Have they hurt your arm? You know, like, if not, then then that they can be, they're just a jerk, and what you do is you go away. Now, if somebody is doing this in the workplace, um, you know, then you need to uh, talk to a manager who will do something, and then you can, if you have to, you quit your job. There's a lot of jobs apparently right now. I know, like, jobs are never easy to get, but um, I I think people who are constantly crying and whining and complaining and screaming about being treated poorly. Like, I get my feelings hurt all the time. People are jerks all the time, and uh, and I'm like, that person's a jerk. But I do not feel like I get to call the police on somebody being a jerk. Like, I don't feel like I get to sue somebody for being snotty. There's endless numbers of cashiers, people of color, who have been totally snotty and snarky and mean. There's been many more who have been neutral or very nice. Same goes for white people. White people can be very, very snotty too, just because they're human beings. Like, white people can be snotty, Asian people can be snotty, Hispanic people can be snotty, poor people can be snotty, rich people can be snotty. Hockey players can be snotty. Computer programmers, computer programmers can be. I mean, just people are people, and it trying to regulate all humanity with this political possible standard. Um, Not every gay person likes all gay people. Not every black person likes all black people. Not every trans person respects other trans people. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I bet somebody needs to do a study, or some female to male trans needs to tell us. But I bet the male to female trans predators who are violating women's private spaces. I mean, whether it's a bathroom, a locker room, athletics, and prisons, uh, I bet like these are the ultimate misogynists. Like these males who are taking on a female affect in order to harm women. Like they are misogynists. But they're claiming that they're women, hence they cannot be misogynist. Let me tell you, women, biological women can be very misogynist. Biological women can be very patriarchal. Women are not always not nice to women. That's the thing. Like white women are mean to white women, or black women are mean to black women. White are mean to blacks. Blacks are mean to white. It's just because humans are humans. Humans are really can be really mean, horrible creatures. We are on Earth, and it's a very tough existence. And if it's a easy breeze for you, well then help us out, because some of us are barely able to face this moment. So teach us perhaps. But yeah, so if you're somebody who thinks that it is illegal for anybody to be rude, especially to you, that it's like that you're silly, like you need to grow up, because I'm sure you're rude to people and you think you're entitled. It's a huge, like, grand sense of entitlement to expect to be treated well, and it's really immature to attribute when you get bad treatment that it's because of you know whatever. Uh, and that's not to say that maybe you're wearing a leather jacket that a vegan hates. So yeah, somebody might judge you for wearing a leather jacket because they're a vegan. So people are, they do have their their limitations, and you know what? It's their right. Like that's just part of their learning process. Maybe eventually that vegan will realize that when you have grass-fed animals grazing on land, that it builds the soil and it prevents soil erosion, so it's actually better for the planet. So that vegan though needs their time to learn, and sometimes it takes decades, sometimes it takes a lifetime to get through one's self-imposed limitations. But just because it hurts your feelings when somebody has the self-imposed limitation doesn't make you judge, jury, and executioner. Doesn't make you like um, right for being a political activist for political correctness. So, what do you guys think? Do you think politeness should be the only way to go? Like, should everybody do great customer service, especially for those who are pushing the mainstream narrative? Because that's what I'm finding is like those who are into the mainstream narrative, after they're talking a little bit and they want you, they throw in how like their medical status, and they want to know about your medical status. They want you to validate what heroes they are, and they don't like neutrality. They are very upset about neutrality, and they're very upset about anybody thinking differently. Like they want to kill you if they could. Is that what we want? Is that civilization? It's not, for one thing. It's not civilization, it's not humanity, and it's not life giving. It's not earthly, you know. Uh, I know the earth has floods and tsunamis and earthquakes, but it's not about killing other beings because somebody hurt your feelings. So, those are my thoughts. Thanks for watching. God bless.